Welcome to Big Blend Radio with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
Well, on today's show, you're going to hear all about Yuma, Arizona's 4th annual Boogie Brews and Blues Festival happening on the banks of the Colorado River. It's the Delta Festival. That's what I call it.
That's right.
It's happening February 17th, 2018. Everybody be there because, I mean, this is the President's Weekend, and you should party when it's a President's Weekend.
Because why not?
Because why not? Anyway, featured guests on today's show include the festival presenter Rob Bauer, and he presents. So if you go to rob-bauerpresents.com, you'll see him presenting, and that's Rob with 2 B's. We call him the Blues Moose, and he's going to get mad at us for calling him that later on in the show. But he's also part of the McCoy Brothers Band, who will be opening the festival. Festival headliner, guitarist Alistair Green, is back on the show, and excited to have him back on. Also hoping to have Len Rainey of the Midnight Players join us, but we also have Richard Blitz. I love that name.
Is Richard the one standing on his head, or is
yes,
it Alistair?
Apparently, I think they can all do tricks, Nancy.
I think that when they're playing, they stand on their head and
twirl, set things on fire
with their feet.
The last name Blitz, you can do all kinds of things.
Well, we know about the Blitz.
We know about blitzing, but he's the founder of the Blitz Brothers because you can't have one Blitz. You got to have more than
Well, yeah, that's a blitzer.
Blitz it. I better watch my mouth. All right, after that, I've got an interview with Lance Labor. We call him the Tucson dude because he's quite a cool dude. He is the executive director of the DeGrazia Gallery in the Sun here in Tucson, Arizona, and he's going to talk about the 2 new exhibits featuring the original art of famed Arizona artist Ted DeGrazia. 2 of the new exhibits include The Way of the Cross and DeGrazia's Hot Wax and Caustic Paintings. He likes hot wax. I'm serious. It's pretty cool. Anyway, after that, I have another conversation. Jennifer Lane, the executive director of the San Benito Arts Council, is joining us. She is giving us an overview of the arts education programs in San Benito County in Central California, right outside Pinnacles National Park. It's one of our favorite areas. And she's going to talk about the Downtown Hollister Public Art Walking Tour and Open Studios Art Tour held April 14th through the 16th of 2018.
Cool. I like this. Standing on your head, the hot wax and pinnacles.
And walking.
Walking.
So happy Friday, everybody. It is National Popcorn Day. So go get your popcorn on. It is January 19th, 2018. You're listening to Big Blend Radio. Special toast to the blues and the art show. We're streaming live from sunny Tucson, Arizona. We're your hosts, Nancy Reed and Lisa Smith, the crazy mother-daughter travel team and publishers of the digital interactive Big Blend Radio and TV magazine and Parks and Travel magazine. You can check them both out. Just go to BigBlendMagazines.com, and that's blend as in a big blender. It's Friday, everybody. Get your popcorn, get your margaritas.
Get digital.
All right, it's time to talk about the Yuma Blues. I know that Alistair's, he's at a conference, he's up in Memphis, man. If you're going to talk about the blues, that's pretty cool. Stay tuned. On Saturday, February 17th, 2018, President's Day weekend, the banks of the Colorado River at Gateway Park in downtown Yuma, Arizona are going to be rocking with the 4th annual Boogie Brews and Blues Festival. And if it's a blues festival happening in Yuma or happening up in the mountains in San Diego and Julian, you know that Rob Bauer is presenting himself and others. Go to rob-bauerpresents.com, and that's Rob with 2 B's because he's special that way. We call him the Blues Moose because he does love the blues. He's also part of the McCoy Brothers Band, and I can't wait to play some of their music. But, to get us all ready for this festival, we've got some of the special guests performing there, joining us on the show. We've got Rob Bauer. Rob, how you doing, dude?
Hi, ladies. Nice to hear your voices again.
You too, and, we love to, hear the voice of the Blues Moose. So we're so glad we get to call you the Blues Moose again on the show since you put Bullwinkle on the front page of, of your website. So I thought it was, that was a sign to us to continue to call you the Blues Moose.
It's a flying squirrel.
Okay, this is going to be one of those shows. This is going to be one of those.
Moose and squirrel.
I know. Everybody likes squirrels. Just, be nice to them. We've got festival headliner guitarist Alistair Green back on the show, and he's got a brand new album out, Dream Train. Alistair, it rocks. How are you?
I'm good, and thank you for saying so. We're really proud of the record, and doing good. Thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
Always. Last time you were on the show, you were heading out to Julian. I think that was a couple years ago, right? That you were going to the Julian Blues Festival.
Yeah, I think we did Julian. Yeah, I think it was, what year is it? 18? So, yeah, I guess it was 2016. Yeah, exactly.
Right on. Also on the show, we have Richard Blitz, the founder of the Blitz Brothers. So if you want to get Blitz, tune into them, and we've got some good music from them that we're going to play on the show. Richard, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Good morning to both of you, all of you guys.
Hey, it's going to be a party. It's a party show today. We're excited about this. Now, I know, Alistair, you're on a time schedule here, so let's start with you, and we'll play Dream Train in a little second here. So whenever you need to bail, just say, I got to bail. Okay.
All right. I'll hang as long as I can.
Right on. So you're in Memphis. Tell us what's going on in Memphis.
Well, this is what's called the International Blues Challenge Week, where bands from all over the world come and play. It's kind of a competition, I guess you can say. I'm out here just doing shows with my band and doing some showcases. And there's basically two big events in the blues world that happen in Memphis. It's this week, and then in May there's the Blues Music Awards, and it's a great opportunity just to kind of meet everybody, promoters and labels and other musicians and agents, and everybody kind of, converges on Memphis, and it's a great time. And so, my band's been playing. We played night before last. We did a showcase at the Rum Boogie with a bunch of artists that my publicist represents. Amy Brad of Brat Girl Media is putting on some events, and then last night we had a big guitar showdown. And my band was kind of backing up a lot of the artists, and I was telling Rob a little while ago that the big highlight from last night was one of our first guest on the stage, because he had some other obligations, was Walter Trout, who's one of the great blues rock legends of all time.
Yeah, he's the man.
So he got up and did a couple songs and just blew the roof off the joint, and then he invited Bob Margolin up on the stage, who was Muddy Waters' guitar player, during the 70s and stuff. And so for me, just as a guitar geek, to be on stage with Walter Trout and Bob Margolin pretty much made my year. And
nice.
So that's what's going on. And tonight, we're just going to cruise around and check some stuff out, maybe try to go to the Stax Museum. And then tomorrow my band's doing a full show at a place called Lafayette. Early evening show, and then we're going to play a fundraiser for the Play It Forward Foundation at the Hard Rock a little later. So we're just trying to stay busy and be out playing and schmoozing and bluesing, and it's a great time. And if you haven't been to Memphis, it's definitely not the place to be if you're trying to shed any holiday pounds. The pounds will just get put on even more with the fried chicken and the waffles and the ribs and everything. So it's music and food. So
sounds good to me.
Nice.
I'm into that. You mentioned Walter Trout, and he's on your new album, Dream Train.
Yep. Yeah, I've known Walter for a handful of years, and because of the magic of social media, we were friends on Facebook, but, I didn't ever think that he was actually looking at my Facebook page or my feed. And so the first time I met him was at a show about probably 5 years ago, and he walked off stage and came up to me and goes, "Hey, you're Alistair Green. You play guitar for Alan Parsons." And I was like, "Wow, you're one of my heroes, and you know my name." So we became friends, and I sat in with his band a couple times. And then when it came time to make the record, we really wanted to make this a special record, for a variety of reasons. I recently left the Alan Parsons project, and I'm focusing on my solo career, and we really wanted to kind of come out of the gate strong with a new release. So I kind of called in, some favors and had some special guests on the new album. So Walter is, one of my heroes from, going back 20 years or so. And so to have him on the album, regardless of whether I sell 10 copies or 10 million copies, just having him on a song, means the world to me. So we're really pleased about that.
That's awesome. I want
Just
everyone to know your website, AlistairGreen.com, and that's Alistair with an ALASTAIR, Green with an E on the end, because that's what he wants.
Thank you for doing that. Well, it's not an easy one, so I appreciate you spelling that out.
I had to retype a lot of things a lot of places. Let me just tell you, I got my practice in. Because it was like, I'm like, does he wear a kilt or not? And I think you wear a kilt.
Right, exactly. Is he going to call in and have a weird Scottish accent, or what's going to happen here? So.
Yeah, because it is very, very United Kingdom, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a United Kingdom?
Yeah, no, it's actually it's the Scottish spelling, really. So there's different spellings, and I have the Scottish one.
So what's
and I'm
in
not
your
Scottish.
foreign?
Yeah, yeah.
What's in my what?
You're sportive.
What's that?
You're sportive. Okay, so everyone, AlistairGreen.com. We're going to play Dream Train in a second here, but I also want to, Richard Blitz, number one, again, great name. But the other thing, talking about playing with some greats, you recently opened for Leon Russell, right?
Yes, we were lucky enough to do that. And oddly enough, speaking of Walter Trout, we're going to be playing with him here in San Diego on the 18th of March. Sunday night, 18th of March, Blitz Brothers opening for Walter Trout. And
cool.
we were lucky enough to play with him here at a place called Humphreys. So it's a Walter Trout morning.
Yeah. Hey,
great.
Yeah.
Toast to Walter Trout. It's Friday, and we can do that here.
We're just happy to have him. Happy to have him still on the planet. Tell you the truth, after some health problems he's gone through. So we're very grateful for that.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. Now, one thing I wanted to just touch on too, Rob. So you've got Alistair as a headliner. I know the McCoy brothers are playing too, but you've also got Len Rainey playing and the Midnight Players. And so you've got a little bit of a San Diego push happening into Yuma.
Yeah. Yep. And it's time to cross the river and take over one more time. And then we got Ben Robinson. He's coming all the way from North Carolina, and we met him when he was like 17, and phenomenal guitar player as a young guy. Was on the Tonight Show, and when he was like 13, it was crazy. And he's got his own band called Preacher Stone, and they're out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm wondering why he's not calling in, but he's going to be there with us as well. So.
Right on. Yeah, well, he was on our show when you guys did the Blues Bash in Julian last year. So that's
right.
Yeah, I remember him calling in for that, and I remember his music is incredible. He is a great talent, and Len Rainey too, the Midnight Players, because they're going to be playing with Johnny Vernazza. And Nancy and I, we've seen Johnny play too.
Yeah,
and that's some badass guitar work,
Well,
really
he played with Elvin Bishop for quite a long time, and he's great. And Walter Gentry is coming with him as well on saxophone. And they are just a really fun band. They just get right into the audience. The audience gets into them. They're really fun. They get funky. And it's going to be a real nice mix this year, I think, Really good.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Well, let's play some music because I want people to hear, if you have not heard Alistair Green, dudes, seriously, I mean, he wears a kilt, whether he does or not. He does now.
That's going to be the next record we'll do the cover with all kilts on. So.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, I think there's something about Scottish music. I don't know. Do you know the Wicked Tinkers? Have you heard of them?
I have not.
They play out of San Diego all the time at the San Diego Scottish Highland Games, but they're crazy.
They wear kilts with no underwear.
And they twirl.
Yeah.
And we all have no problem with that. But anyway.
That's how you're supposed to wear them.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, there's this drive in there, and I think that there's something incredibly tribal about the Scots, and it's Braveheart, yeah. So I wonder about that, Alistair, with you. I mean, when people hear drive that dream.
Technically, I'm actually not Scottish. I think my parents were just high when they were going through the name book. So I can pretend that I am, but I'm but I to my knowledge, and I haven't done
either that or he won't admit it.
I'm not Scottish. So
He doesn't want to wear a kilt.
And he doesn't want to show
Yeah.
what's in
That's
his sporran either.
Yeah.
Exactly.
By the way, everybody, if you type in sporran on the internet, make sure you get the correct spelling.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you right now, so everybody's going to run and do it right now. I know. Anyway, Dream Train. This is the title track. Tell us
Some
about
of
the
them have teeth.
Sporran do. Dream Train. Tell us about this being the title track of the album, and the guitar work on this is just like it is like a train, and it just keeps coming, and it's like electric, and it's yummy.
Well, that was actually the song that came the easiest to me as far as writing it. I've got a recording software at home, and I was demoing songs and working on ideas, and literally the song kind of wrote itself in about 4 minutes. And then lyrics are usually the thing that's the toughest for me to kind of come up with good lyrics. And it's kind of a proclamation. It's kind of a stating, for me, I mean, everyone can have their own meaning for whatever songs that they like or whatever. But for me, it's really just kind of stating about what it is that I feel like I'm supposed to do with my life, which is play guitar and make music. And that's sort of what the song's about for me. And, it came out in such a way that I was like, well, that's got to start the album, and that's going to be the title track. It was just very apparent that was the song that was going to kind of lead the charge into this next phase of my life, and I'm really proud of it. So there you go.
Right on. So everybody, here it is, Dream Train, brand new album out now, and it can get it on iTunes and places like that?
Absolutely. You can get it on iTunes, Amazon, all that good stuff.
Okay, take a listen, everyone.
Last one
told you it was badass.
Party.
I know, man. That was Dream
Yeah.
Train, everybody, with the Alistair
You gotta
Dream
love-
Band.
You
Oh,
gotta love Alistair's slide guitar. He's a
No
smoker on
kidding.
that.
man.
Love
well,
it,
Alistair,
dude.
you know, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, what Rob was saying. I mean, I fell in love with slide guitar a long time ago, and you know, it's just kind of one of those things where if I have an opportunity to do it in a situation like that, I just love the sound of it. It's just different. I mean, I love wiggling my fingers as much as everybody else does playing regular guitar, but playing slide's just a lot of fun, and it's a big challenge. So I'm
it
glad
takes a
that
certain
one turned
talent,
out okay.
But it's
takes
not
a
like a
certain
heavy.
talent.
There's a sexiness to slide guitar. There's like a deep. It's not
Oh, yeah.
like, you know, sexy woo woo. It's like, let's get it on.
Yeah,
like,
you're going
going
right now.
you're going
That's
down.
it. There's
Well,
no,
like
part of the
there's no time to
part of the
think.
thing with the slide, with the you know, the old blues recordings and stuff, the slide, you know, it really is kind of, especially on an acoustic guitar, is the closest thing to a human voice in a lot of ways, because you're not playing on the frets, you're above the frets, kind of sliding around on the notes, which is similar to vocal. So you can kind of do some things on slide that are, you know, phrasing wise is going to be closer to what, you know, the human voice is. And so that, I think that's probably why it sounds kind of as expressive as it does. And if you choose to think that it's sexy, then I can't help that. But
there's nothing wrong with
it's
that.
great.
I'm just
It's
saying.
How dare
I love
you.
it because of that. It's very expressive. It's a very expressive thing. So.
Well, all I know is you either need to, you know, boogie. Like I can see women doing the squat dance,
Absolutely.
or like if you're sitting down, you need to really just like sit and you're like
going
just
over
enjoy it. Yeah,
cattle
when you
grids.
go over cattle grids, going through turbulence on an airplane, like it can feel good. I'm just saying. But I can't believe we've already got to this part of the show.
Wow.
But you know, Alice,
Well,
with that, with the Dream Train part, like the slide, and there's this. And whenever there's any kind of blues slide, and it's got to do with trains and that driving, you know, there's this deepness, there's this, you know, just pure rocking of it, but there's also this haunting element to it, you know, like the Ghost Train kind of vibe, and you have that, like kind of Johnny Winters has that kind of. There's these.
Yeah, well, he's a huge hero of mine and a huge influence, and as far as slide guitar playing, you know, he was definitely one of the guys that learned from, you know, the masters, and then kind of did his own thing with it, and you know, created. He's one of the founders of blues rock. I mean, if you want to, you know, define a genre and who the founding fathers of that genre are, if blues rock is indeed a genre, then Johnny Winter is definitely you know, sitting at the head table as far as guys that pioneered that and took the influence of the blues and combined it with rock and cranked up their amps and did the thing. So yeah, he's a huge influence on my playing and my songwriting and everything. So. Yep.
Right on. Tell us
Cool.
about your band. I know I'm trying to get everything in before you have to go, but tell us about your band, because I always want to make sure people know who the entire band is. It's always so important.
Well, on the record, Austin Beatty is the drummer, and he's been playing with my band 5 or 6 years, I want to say, and Jim Rankin is the bass player, who's been in the band 10 years. You know, with everybody's busy schedules, as a band leader, you have to sometimes adapt and get other people and stuff like that. So, you know, because I'm not Eric Clapton and I can't pay like $1 million for a show, sometimes you have to get who's available. So I play live with a lot of other different players. And so right now I'm out here in Memphis with a guy named Sam Boley on bass, who is actually Dick Dale's bass player. So he's out with me right now in Memphis. And I've got a great young drummer named Anthony Andrews is playing drums with me out here in Memphis, and then I think for Julian, I'm sorry, not Julian. I'm getting it confused already.
It's only a 2.5 hour drive from Yuma to Julian, so they're you know, there's mountain and desert buddies.
And for Yuma, Sam's going to be playing bass with me in Yuma, and I've got a great drummer that's going to be playing named Brian Head, who's played with. I could just start, you know, doing the resume list, but a fantastic drummer. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. As a front guy, you have to adapt, and the show must go on, and you know, get people up to speed on your catalog. And I'm very fortunate where I've got, gotten to meet a lot of fantastic musicians, and so I have a little Rolodex full of guys that are just all pro level great musicians, and it makes my life a lot easier. So yeah,
no, I know what you mean. Yeah, travel is hard. I mean, people have families and have projects and do other studio recordings and stuff, so I can imagine that. And speaking of that, Mr. Blitz.
Yes.
I hear that you do a lot of recording, because I was looking at Blitz recordings. Do you get to get blitzed while you're recording or no?
It's been known to happen. I've been in the recording business for now. This is my 32nd year in business.
Wow.
So that's my main. That's my job. But I've always kept myself out there. I played for many years for a living, every single night for about 14 years, and then started doing the studio work, but kept playing live shows. I do it much less than these guys do. I just go out to scare myself occasionally, and my band members out then get nervous. And see if I can still hang. I've been at it for a long time.
Right on.
Yes,
right on.
Have.
And so now, so you're in San Diego, and that's the thing. I'm glad to hear all these San Diego people going over too, because San Diego, I just think that has just got an incredible blues music scene. I mean, I remember when we moved there, years ago, I was like, wow, there's like live music, and it's got a lot of blues and a lot of rock, and of course there's country too, and all the other styles, and reggae and ska and all that. But it just seems to me like San Diego, I know a lot of people think of L.A., and Alistair, you're based out of L.A. now, right?
I'm a little north of LA in Ventura, but
nice.
Pretty soon it's just going to be one big city between San Diego and Santa Barbara
That's for sure.
or San Luis Obispo.
Yeah.
So there's
it's all
going
to merge, and then California's going to split.
And become its own continent.
I don't know. I'm just kidding, but I don't want to get into that. But yeah, Ventura area to me is an amazing area too, especially for the arts. It's got a lot of art going on.
I grew up in Santa Barbara, and then my wife and I moved down to Ventura area about 10 years ago, and it is nice. And Obviously, recently, we had the fires that went through and the flooding and the mudslides, and we were waiting for the locusts and the earthquake. But it's a beautiful area, but it has been just in the last month or so been going through some pretty tough, tragic times. But such is the cost, I suppose, of living in such a beautiful place, unfortunately. So.
Well, I know. I mean, we went through it in San Diego with the fires and everything, and we went through that. It was actually, Rob, you know about those ones. I don't even want to go back into that.
I don't even want to think about it.
We won't be going there, and you're going to have plenty of sunshine in Yuma because it is the sunniest place on earth. Believe it, it's true. Except for on some days it decides to rain when it's not supposed to. But I wanted to go back to Richard. San Diego really is quite a big blues scene, and a good music scene.
Well, interestingly enough, Len Rainey, I recorded Len Rainey probably 20 years ago. And haven't seen him since. I see his name all around town. Everyone's always working, but it'll be nice to see him again. Someone mentioned a guy named Gentry who plays with him. Is that Hollis Gentry's brother that plays sax with him?
Walter Gentry?
Walter Gentry?
Do you know Walter Gentry? I don't know.
I wonder if he's related to Hollis Gentry. That was my
we're
first
gonna
thought.
Find out.
The amazing sax legend from San Diego.
Yeah. Well, I have not heard him personally, but I hear a lot of really good things about him as a talent and as a pro. And supposed to be a super funny guy, so it should be an interesting stage.
It sounds like a nice lineup. It's for me. I get to see so much talent that I'm always. This is my full-time thing. So every day a new thing comes in, and it's just great. There's so much diversity and so much music here in San Diego, and everyone takes it seriously. It's not. They're not playing around. They do it, with full-on intent,
I've been to Richard's studio, and it's incredible. Richard is a genius. I went into his studio for the first time, and we spent some time. And he said, have a seat, and all of a sudden, all these flat screens lit up, and he started playing me some cuts of some projects he was working on, and he was just working it, man. I want to tell you, just a phenomenal hand and ear coordination, and knowing all the electronics and all that stuff. I was amazed.
I know all those little buttons,
to you, Richard.
Man.
Everybody, go record there.
How much did you pay Richard for the free advertising?
See, that's it.
That's a little side deal we have.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
No, that's great,
no,
man.
no.
That's great.
No, tell us
Ladies,
about the Blitz Brothers.
I'm gonna have to get going
okay,
here,
go ahead,
you guys.
Alistair, you have to bail.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I apologize if I wasn't in the middle of the Keeping the Blues Alive Awards. I would stay on the phone with you guys all day long and start drinking whiskey in about a half an hour and join the party. But
how did you know we were doing that?
Yeah.
Like, how did you know?
I just had a feeling. And I apologize for my early exit, but it was fantastic being on with you guys, and I'm really looking forward to the festival and seeing everybody and playing, and it's going to be a great time, and looking forward to seeing some of the other bands and all that. So
very good. Well, have fun in
on.
Memphis, man. Travel safe.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Stay warm.
Absolutely, you guys.
And have some waffles with popcorn today, because it's popcorn day.
Okay.
So
all right.
go have some popcorn.
I'll do popcorn and waffles.
Okay, good. We like that. And,
right,
and
you guys.
All right, take care.
Thank you so much. All right, thanks so much.
Bye, Al.
I appreciate it. Okay, man.
Bye.
Talk to you soon, Rob. All right.
Bye. All right, bye-bye.
Everybody, AlistairGreen.com. Give him another shout-out. It's ALASTAIR, Green with an E on the end, just proving that I'm not drinking whiskey. I can spell. So
right.
There it is. And I can't
Lisa.
go on my head. Go ahead.
When I saw him the first time with the Alan Parsons Band,
yeah,
I'm a big fan of the Alan Parsons Project and his writing and the quality musicianship, and he went to some places that not a lot of other musicians went to, and not to mention all the time in the studio with the Beatles and things like that. But anyway, when I first saw the Alan Parsons Band with Alistair playing, he's had so many different guitar players over the years that I was like, wow, as one guitar player to another, you're like, okay, let's see if this guy can really pull off that solo. And the solos are so famous. It's like trying to play a Pink Floyd solo. Don't try to play it unless you can nail it exactly. And Richard knows what I'm talking about. And I want to tell you, he went through that entire 90 minutes and blew me away. Every guitar solo that Alan Parsons ever recorded or had recorded, he nailed it. And I was so impressed with that. I was blown away. And then it turns out we're backstage and we're talking, we're meeting each other, and he introduced me to Alan, and that's how Alistair and I became friends over the years. And he's just a really fun guy, super, super talented. And I'm so happy he's got his new record out, and he's he's on his own now, and he's swimming the swim.
That's awesome. I think it's really exciting. We interviewed Paul Nelson about 2 months ago. He was a protege for Johnny Winter, and I was just like, man, I mean, the playing is they're there, and he's often doing his own thing ever since Johnny passed. And it's like when you are on these big projects, and then you got to step out on your own. It's like a whole different scene, even though you've been in the industry for a while, But these guys have the talent for it. Like for that kind of, like he can. Alistair's really good. He's really, really, really good. And that's what I love about your shows, your talent. Every person you've brought on the show, the talent is absolutely phenomenal, and it's diverse. You're always showcasing, your lineup has always got this diversity of the blues, which I think is so important that people understand that blues has all kinds of feelings, and it all comes from different people and places, and who moved up to Chicago and when, and all that kind of thing. And I think it's so important that you continue doing what you do to keep the blues going and educating and people need to have a good time. I mean, come on, we need a good time, and I think there's nothing better than a blues festival on a river, other than on a mountain.
I agree. I agree.
Fun.
There's so much negativity out there now, and all the weird politics and everything. It's just like, okay, let's just forget all that crap for one day, and let's all get together, smile, move with the music, and and have a couple beers. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
And along the river there.
And food trucks. You're gonna have food trucks. That's cool. It's like a food truck festival.
I think it'd be really cool that if somebody would write like a political blues album. Like, sometimes I think I'm going to date myself here, but there used to be a program on television called Rawhide, and Frankie Lane would be move him up, head him out, Rawhide, and the cowboys would be all slapping the whips at the cows. That's what I think all the people in the world could get together and take their politicians and the leaders and get those bull whips out. Head them up.
Man, are you like to
move them out?
I
like that idea. You're all
crazy.
Freaking fired.
I know.
Next.
Wouldn't that be fun?
And you're not allowed to stay on for a long time. But before we get crazy with that, let's talk about the Blitz Brothers, because I want to play "She Caught the Katy." I mean, as soon as you hear that, you want to know, like, did she see the doctor? No, I'm kidding.
That's an old Taj Mahal song. That's where I got it. And I loved that from Taj Mahal first blues record, and I've played that song over and over through the years many times, and it's almost become kind of a signature for me. It's just like it's like a nice pair of comfortable shoes, and oddly enough, again, it's a little bit of slide guitar. Taj Mahal is still out there plugging away, and I've always loved that song. It's one of my wife's favorite songs.
It's a song. You guys did a good job on that. I love it.
You've mentioned so many people through this interview, and I go, wow, now that's odd that they would mention that. People I've worked with over the years. You were talking about Frankie Lane. I just did an album last year with the guy who is his musical director for 20 years. And Frankie Lane was a San Diego guy. Oddly enough.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I kid you not. Yeah.
Wow. It's like Leo Carrillo. Like, I see his name pop up all the time. He's got his own ranch. Is it L.A. or North San Diego? The Leo Carrillo Ranch. I don't know why that came to mind. I just figured maybe you'd do something with him, too. Okay, so now let's talk about
Well, wait a
Bayou
minute.
Brothers,
We got one more name.
Ahead.
One more name we got to kick out there is a real good friend of Richard's and mine, and his name is Barney Roach. He's been in the blue. Barney has been a cornerstone of the blues community. He used to host a blues night down at Blind Melons, which is now the 710 Club down at PB, and he kept that going for, I think, I don't know what, Richard, 10, 12 years or something?
Barney is a force. He's an absolute force. He's the bass player, my bass player in the Blitz Brothers, my good friend, and is absolutely knows everybody, and everybody loves Barney. He's like a hurricane walking in the door. The guy is absolutely an amazing human being, and I can kind of thank him for getting me back out in the Blitz Brothers. He talked me back into it and said, you got to get out there and play some more. And he's the one who books all of our shows because he's just always out there,
What about his amplifier collection, though? Somebody comes in town and needs some off-the-wall, freaking weird-ass amplifier.
It's amazing.
And Barney goes, I have one.
Yeah. He provides the back line for the blues festival here, the blues festivals here in town, and is really tied into the Belly Up too. Whenever they need an amp, he'll bring it in. He just drives over and takes it over to them, fixes their broken ones, and he has been an amazing force in the music business. I think he also was the main guy for the blues vintage guitar magazine for a long time.
Wow.
He's a staff writer, I believe.
Yeah, I think he had something to do with Walter Trout when Walter had his health problems recently that were dire health problems.
Yes.
Barney I believe had something to do with one of those crowdfunding things or something, and
GoFundMe,
helped the GoFundMe thing and helped get a lot of money, which helped Walter, from what I understand, and.
That's the guy he is. Yeah.
Yeah. No, if he's on your side, you're covered. If Barney is something else, and a damn good bass player and backup singer in my band.
Right on.
I'm lucky to have him, and my buddy Calvin Lakin is playing drums. We do it strictly 3-piece and keep it really straightforward and. And just go out there and hit it.
It feels good listening to it.
Yeah.
You know, and Barney, him and I have been emailing each other, and I'm like, dude, Barney, you should be on it. He's cool. He's fun to deal with, and hang with. But I just want to say, if you ever change your band name, I think it should be Blitz, Burn, and Roach. I'm just saying. I think
that's pretty
cool,
good.
Or it could be an album title. I don't know.
Not
but
bad. You may have missed your calling.
Yeah, there's and then if you do an album with that, then we've got to put the McCoy brothers on with their song "Give Me My Medicine," "Ode to California."
There you go.
There it is. But here it is. Let's play "She Caught the Katy" because, and I'm glad you covered this. And Taj Mahal's I'm just a huge Taj Mahal fan, and Ry Cooder, and it's like, why did you guys have to break up? But then it's like cool, what they do, and. But still.
Well, now I have not heard this cut since I've never heard the cut. I don't think, but it's a live thing from I think from the Belly Up show. And Barney found this cut. He records a lot of stuff of us of playing live, and I think we were opening for Leon Russell at the Belly Up Tavern here in San Diego. This has been a few years ago, but we figured this would be a good thing for the blues show, and it's different every time we play it.
Well, it's got the vibe. It gives you the vibe of you guys, and it's just so cool. And the vibe in here
and it's also my old buddy Jim McGinnis from KGB Radio is announcing us on the thing. I don't know if that's part of the tape that you guys are playing, but.
He's great. He's a neighbor of mine, and
he's a force of nature here in San Diego too. Yeah.
Well, it's a good name too. We've got Roach, McGinnis. This is getting really good here. I'm starting to get real happy on our show.
We have a trend. Yes.
All right, everybody, here it is. She Caught the Katy, again, from the Blitz Brothers. And, where's the best place for people to keep up with the band? Is it Facebook? I think you guys were setting up a Facebook.
If you just go anywhere and write in Blitz Brothers on the internet, it'll throw out tons of stuff. On
It'll
YouTube.
Blitz you out, baby.
Yeah. Just write in the Blitz Brothers. I started this band in about 1973 or 74.
Wow.
So this goes back. This has been a lifetime of blitzing.
Wow, I know for me it is because that's my year of birth. Not to give my age away, but that's my.
Ouch.
74 is a good year for music.
She was born in a blitz.
I know. I blitzed right through while Nancy was watching The Exorcist. I came out.
Yeah.
You
have to keep in mind this is before there was Doobie Brothers. This was before that.
Right.
Well, the Blitz Brothers owned San Diego for 10 years. And they opened for everybody. They were played at all the big clubs. They're all gone now, unfortunately. But if you didn't know about the Blitz Brothers or you hadn't seen the Blitz Brothers or run into Richard and his crew, then you were not. You were living under a rock. Yep,
yes.
They were everywhere.
You're shut-in.
They owned the town, and he's still doing it now. And whether you know it or not, because this song, She Caught the Katy, is, like you said, it's kind of funky and, Paint My Mailbox Blue kind of thing. But Richard is a blues shredder. And I just want everybody to know that.
This is so good.
He's an incredible guitar player. That's
Thank you,
Robert.
Everybody. She played
a song.
And then she gave it to someone else.
That's right.
Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jim McInnes. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I haven't been to the Belly Up in a year. In fact, I think it was a year ago this month. And at that point, I was here for this very same reason, and that is to introduce one of my favorite bands, opening act for Leon Russell tonight. What a great show this is going to be. So let's hear it for these guys who, they're here to kick your ass, if I may use a dirty word like that. Let's hear it for the Blitz Brothers. Come on.
my, baby, she's all. My baby's all. Good God, oh my, baby, she's all. My baby's so long. My baby, she's tall. With some things to the head and the cushion, and a big butt out in the hall. Now, I'm so crazy about the hard-headed woman. Hard-headed woman, yeah. Richard Blitz. Well, we're honored to be here with Leland Russell. Amazing.
Everyone, you're listening to Big Blend Radio. You just heard the Blitz Brothers rock She Caught the Katy. That's a live recording when they're playing over at the Belly Up Tavern, opening for Mr. Leon Russell. And they're going to be performing at the 4th Annual Yuma Boogie, Brews, and Blues Festival happening February 17th. Gateway Park, right along the Colorado River. It is an awesome location. And I think that you've got to play that song, Richard, because that is like a party song. Like, how can anybody not party and get up and shake it? You know, that is like a get up and
that's a squat dancer.
That's a squat dance song.
I have no idea what that means, but I kind of like the sound of it.
Well, no, we learned that from Willie Kellogg, the drummer. Now you got to know Willie, right, in San Diego. He used to play
Willie
with
Kellogg.
Yeah, the Flying Burrito Brothers. Played with Canned Heat with Joel Scott Hill, who's
yeah, got it, yeah.
Yeah, he we used to play with him, and he was like, okay, now watch at a certain time, it's true, everybody gets down. Well, especially the women start it. They start that, getting down on the ground, and then depending on how much, how liquored up they are, they can't get back up. Some can, some can't. And it's just where, everyone starts.
And the fun begins. Yeah,
it's like down. How low can you go kind of competition, and the women will start it.
Yeah.
And then the men are like, oh, man, I'm going to have
to
pick her up.
Why did I dance with her? Yeah. I know we always talk about this, Rob. I know. I'm sorry, but that's a squat dance song. And
squat dance.
Your guitar is like wailing, and it's like for three pieces to have that much like energy, And, I mean, it's just the energy is infectious, and you build it, and then the drums and the bass, that dun 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 dun.
We should do our own
my
award.
God, I feel like
it's a squat dance award.
It's like
you guys
it's like
are too nice.
And epic. Yeah, Rob, I'm ready to play squat dance now. So
all right.
I won't get
all
back
right.
up. I'm not like you, Richard, who can do things on your head, and twirl around.
Yeah.
That was Alistair.
Was it Alistair who did
that was Alistair on his head, yeah.
What's a good thing about the kilt, man? I mean, you never know.
I would pay money to see that.
There's a lot of talk about squat dances for women. But anyway, sorry.
It's a new album, Squat Dancing and Kilt.
Yeah. Now, Richard, have you been to Yuma?
I've traveled through Yuma. I've never actually played there before, but I'm looking forward to it. Everyone says it's a beautiful venue, that it's an absolutely fantastic location.
It is.
And I spoke with the guy who's going to be doing the whole sound system and everything. He's a good friend of mine, and he's done it for a few years, I guess, Rob. And
yes.
Good old Joe D'Amico.
Spectrum
Sound. It will be, and he's a sensational sound man. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was doing the sound for us on that live cut that we just played.
Wow.
And he's everyone knows him in San Diego, and is a great mixer. It's not enough to just have the big PA and all that stuff. It's an art form to get stuff working.
Oh my God! Yes.
There's so much involved in it.
Especially outside.
A few times,
he's gone.
Okay.
And now he's gone digital, so he can lock down all the sound checks and everything, which is super important. And now he's flying his bananas, and
he's flying his
makes
bananas?
it.
What? Whoa, wait, what?
Ow.
got into a weird area there, didn't we?
Yeah,
it's
well,
called,
we went from
it's
squat
called,
dancing and kilts and twirling
it's
on
called
heads
line array speakers. When you on the side of the stage, instead of piling a whole crap load of speakers on top of each other, you take now the speakers can actually produce the same sound, but they're a third the size. So you hang them, you hook them together, and you hang them from your struts of your stage, and it makes a whole different sound because the way the music is coming down at you, but it's moving like over your head instead of this big huge blast of music that just hits you in the face. And after a while, that's too much. And when you hang the bananas, the line array speakers, it's a whole different sound. And Joe's got that in his system now, so it's a way upgrade in our sound system.
Well, if you're going to upgrade, you need bananas.
So the
flying bananas
wall of sound is in the past.
It's the wall of sound. Neil Young's not going to be there.
Yeah. Well, I've been out in the audience before, and I'm out, meeting people and saying hi and stuff, and I walk past the PA system, and it just like blows my head off my shoulders, and I'm like, there's got to be a better way. So now we have that, and it's way better.
I want to ask you, Rob, what got you, and I know we've asked this before, but I want people to understand this because it's 20 years, Julian Blues Bash up in the mountains of San Diego. Again, it's like 2.5 hours from Yuma, or an hour and a half actually, really close. And so the 20th annual one's happening Saturday, June 16th. So that's 20 years.
Yeah.
You've got the 4 years in Yuma. And I know putting on a festival is difficult. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. The weather may be, a banana in the sky that decides to explode on you, or anything can go wrong. And at the same time, you're keeping like an event. You're getting musicians together, the audience. So you have to work with all these different people. What possessed you to do this? And I mean it in a good way, like really, because you have to be possessed to continue to do it because it's such hard work. I know it is.
It can be risky. It can be risky. Rob knows.
Oh, yeah. Last year it rained, and we rented every single circus tent we could get in the Imperial Valley, and we put them up in 40-mile-an-hour winds. And it didn't rain super hard, but it rained, and we had to cancel the big, huge stage and everything. But the show went on. We played underneath the tent, pushing brooms up to get the water off the tent and stuff. It was crazy. But, there was, maybe 300 people there, and they were all wrapped in sleeping bags and stuff like that underneath these tents. And it's one of those concerts that you're never going to forget because do you remember the time we went to the thing and it was cold and rainy and we wrapped in sleeping bags, but those guys blew our minds?
Right.
But we had Philip Sace there. We had Jonathan Boogie Long there. We had Bosco France there. We had Gino Matteo there. All fantastic,
amazing,
freaking crazy guitar players, and they played like it was Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
Well, and Philip Sace is phenomenal. He's that guy's just absolutely something.
Oh my God, and he's so nice. He is just
really good guy.
He told us to take all the food and all the drink and everything that was on his rider out of the motorhome and put it in the hospitality tent and share it with everybody.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they have to put these riders out, right? They have to stay.
Yeah.
They have to. Isn't there like a, I remember reading an article years
Richard
ago.
has one. I just got it in the mail the other day, and I got to get working on it for the Bliss Brothers.
Richard, what's on? I want to know. Come on.
It's the green M&Ms.
What do the Blitz boys want?
The only green M&Ms, and they want their amps to go to 11. The amps have to go to 11.
And there's a number of other things that we won't mention.
Yes.
Oh, yippee.
Yeah.
But I'll have them there waiting. I'll have the ladies there waiting for you in the motorhome. Oh, I didn't.
Hey. I'm a happily married man.
I've heard,
that
and
way.
that's a wonderful thing.
Dance. That's all we do.
Yes.
We do harmless. We're harmless.
Yes.
Because we can't get up. Once we start squatting, we really are one of the ones who can't. We can't get back up. No, we can't.
I think you ought to invent, girls. You ought to invent the squat spring, and it's this little thing that you wear behind you, and when you start to go down, it pops out and it pops you right back up. You never hit the ground.
What a fun dance that would be.
I know. Could you imagine? It's the squat and spring.
I saw that on a Roadrunner cartoon when I was a little kid.
Acme.
Let's call it the meat.
It was Acme. It was the Acme squat spring. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it
no,
threw
I'm
him off
gonna
a
get
cliff,
the
I
Help,
think.
I'm squatting
No,
and I can't get up.
I know. That's.
I could just see
Make
the
her
girls
up.
with that, and they'd end up in the river.
Yeah.
They'd be bouncing around,
they
and
also
next thing you know,
had the. They were also the maker of the finest rocket skates available.
that's right.
Pogo stick.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody needs
right.
a pogo stick. Do you see that kind of thing when you do these festivals, Rob? I mean, you're on the beach. I mean, basically you're at the beach
Oh yeah.
on the Colorado
Oh, yeah.
River, right, in Yuma. So don't you think
Yep.
it's kind of
I know what the squat dance is.
yeah,
Oh,
but
hell
do you
yeah.
see people like paddling in the river, and do people skate around and jump on pogo sticks and things at the festival?
You know, this one was pretty laid back, but you know, I've been to ones where this guy, he comes and he's probably almost 7 foot tall. He's got a beard and really long hair. He looks like kind of like a bear, and he wears a barrel. He has a wooden barrel with straps on it that hold it on his shoulders.
Thank God.
Big huge work boots, and he comes to these festivals, and the guy's is a nut job, you know.
Really?
But no, most of our people are pretty laid back, and you know.
Oh man.
It's
Well, I want to play one of the tracks from Len Rainey. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it on the show with us today, but Len Rainey and the Midnight Players, you both know him, right? You can catch up with him on Reverb Nation.
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted to play this, and this will be a little different. I love his music. I've been going through it. I'm like, man, this stuff is good. You guys really, you get some good musicians. And I know, again, we said Johnny Vernazzo is going to be there, Walter Gentry, and Johnny Vernazzo. It was at Calico Ghost Town in Yermo, right outside Barstow.
With the Bayou Brothers.
The Bayou Brothers used to, I don't know if they still do this, on Thanksgiving they used to perform there in this state park, and it looks like a little western town. Okay, we're back to Rawhide,
fun.
you know.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I remember we were camping out there and going to see them play, and that's when we met Johnny. And I mean, he can wail. He's really good.
He's really good.
He's really good. And
He's very
I was just
tasteful.
like, wow, you know. And here we are, like in a fog, you know, literally at this, you know, after camping out overnight, and all of a sudden, like, wake up, Calico Ghost Town. After you go, they have this little train that goes around the little old school mining camp. And as you're going, they start talking about kids dying from typhoid. So you're going on this train, and then all of a sudden you hear, and then the kids died of typhoid. Wah! And I mean, we went from that to like that, and the Bayou Brothers, who you've had at your different shows as well. They rock. I mean, they're awesome.
Oh, yeah.
The Bayou Brothers. Now, do you know them
really
too?
good guys.
Richard, do you know them? I thought I could just
Yes. They're definitely one of San Diego's most popular bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cajun and all that good stuff. But here it is,
Yeah.
Len Rainey. I wanted to play Neon Moon because it's got some country style in there, and it's kind of got like a country beachy vibe to it. You know, it feels good.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, everybody,
All
Neon
right.
Moon, enjoy, and so you can get another taste of what goodness is coming to Yuma on February 14th.
Do I have any country fans in the house? If you like country music, say hell yeah. You don't mind if I play a little country music, do you? I'm gonna do it anyhow, baby. If you like country music, say hell yeah. When the sun goes down my side of town and a lonesome feeling comes to my door and the whole world turns blue. There's a rundown bar across the railroad track. I got a table for two way in the back where I sit alone. Think I'm losing you. I spend most every night beneath the lights of a neon moon. Now if you lose your one and only, Think of two young lovers running wild and free. I close my eyes and sometimes see you in the shadows of this smoke-filled room. No telling how many lies that I've lied, and how many tears that I've cried, telling my poor heart she'll come back someday. I spend most every night beneath the light of a neon moon. Now if you lose your one and only, there's always room here for the lonely to watch your broken dreams dancing out of the beams of the neon moon. Again on the guitar, give my hand, Mr. Johnny Bernard. Like my country song? If you like my country song, you gotta say hell yeah. Jukebox plays on, drink by drink, and every word, every sad song seems to say what I think, telling my poor heart she'll come back someday. I spend most every night beneath the light of a neon moon. Now if you lose your one and only, there's always room here for the lonely up in the unknown.
I say hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's some river vibing country blues, everyone, from Len Rainey and the Midnight Players. They're going to be performing live at the 4th Annual Yuma Boogie Brews and Blues Festival happening February 17th.
And you can still say it.
I can still say it. And I'm excited to say that, Len Rainey has the most amazing timing. He knows when his music's being played, and he calls in right on time for that. Len, welcome to the show. How are you?
How are you guys? I'm sorry I missed you this early. I was on the road, so I blanked out. It's all my fault. I'm so sorry.
No, but you got here right as we're playing your music. You missed us talking about you. We've got Richard Blitz here, and you can't trust him because he tells everything. And Rob Bowers, he's the blues moose, and so you never know what he's going to say either. So all we did was talk a lot about you and Johnny Vernazza and also Walter Gentry. Yeah, and we talked about squat dancing. And that song means, I think Neon Moon is when, that's post-squat dance. The women have now gotten up. And they're hugging the ones that they are hoping to go, home with. I'm just saying, river romance song.
River romance. That's a pretty song by Brooks and Dunn, though. That is a very pretty song.
It is a pretty song. Now, was Walter playing on that?
No, Walter's the sax player. He's known for he's one of those guys that can hold a note for eternity. He has that internal breathing, that recycling breathing, so he can hold a note like longer than Kenny G, I think.
That is very, very enticing to women.
Oh gosh, there she goes. Oh wow. Squat dancing.
How long can you hold your breath?
Anything else that we're talking? Bananas in the sky. We're doing good. Kilts. This show has gone in the gutter, man. I swear. Oh, but glad you could join us. Rob, how long have you known Len?
Oh, probably 15 or so years.
At least 15, 20 years. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Len, the way he sings, he's got such a sultry voice, and he's the bass man. He really, when you're listening to his band, it's something about the bass just hits you. I mean, he's got that in the pocket, rock solid bass on everything he does, and it makes the band. And
and
his
singing
voice,
singing and playing bass is like rubbing your stomach and patting your head too.
Yeah.
Not everyone can do a counter bass line like what he's playing on that, and then just sing a romantic song. It takes incredible coordination.
You have to be in the groove.
Yeah, it's definitely something I've been doing for a long time. With these guys behind me, though, like with Johnny Vernazza, because Johnny's a Grammy-winning guitar player with Elvin Bishop. And
right, we talked about that.
He used to play with Elvin Bishop with Fooling Around and Fell in Love. And with the guys I have behind me now, they're some extraordinary guys. They're some good musicians, so they allow me to just kind of mess around and do what I want to do now.
Well, I think you're the consummate showman, my friend. And the last time I got down to Patrick's, you had the audience eating out of your hand. You guys were funky and funny, and everyone was having a blast. And you're going to translate that, to a bunch of people over in Arizona. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. We're looking forward to having some fun over there. It's going to be some fun. I'm bringing all the guys, Walter and everybody. So we're going to have some fun. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Now, have you been to Yuma, Arizona before, Len?
I have been there to play at a club there. I can't remember. Was it the Top of the Crest? Used to be there.
Oh yeah, the Crest. There was it's haunted there too. Yeah. Apparently. Yeah, it's downtown.
Spirits.
Yeah, it's downtown. Right. Yeah, it's not far from where you guys are going to be playing. That's what's so neat about where. I mean, when I say like literally downtown Yuma is going to rock, you've got the historic downtown, and you take a few steps and you're at the river. And this whole area is like this beautiful, parkway. You can stroll, you can go bird watching, or You can see squatting birds. You can see ducks floating. People could be tubing down the Colorado River. It's the lower banks of the Colorado River. I mean, this is where people crossed over ancient times, and Native Americans crossing over back and forth. It's interesting. You cross over, you could end up in California. You could end up on the Kashan Reservation. So it's an interesting thing about Yuma being.
There is,
and then there's Mexico south of you.
There's one little spot on the concert site. It's this little sandy thing, and it's actually California. It's a 20 by 20 spot, and it's actually California, but it's sitting on the other side of the river, and it's kind of funny that way.
Yeah,
there's a casino. There's a casino nearby where if you're in this room, you're gambling in Arizona, and you go other room, you're gambling in California.
Yeah, and they'll give you your tickets different because you can't take your ticket from one place to the other because of taxes.
Yeah.
Change.
That's so
and
funny.
can I just say you win more in Arizona than you do in California? Sorry, but it's true.
How do you know?
Because I played both sides.
Okay, I just wanted to see if she'd say that.
That's so funny. I think last time I was in Yuma, though, I did play the Topic Crest, and then I, always kind of drove through, but I never really played. This is going to be fun at the Blues Fest, though, because Rob puts on a good Blues Fest, and he's been putting it on for a while, so he's probably got it down by now.
Yeah.
Well, one of the most fun things is when you're on stage, you've got the Hilton up on the hill there, and the audience can't really hear it, I don't think, as much as you can hear from the stage. But if you hit a really nice heavy chord, that sound just goes right down that river valley, and it hits the hotel and comes back. So you get this like natural delay sound, and it is the coolest feeling that you can ever have as a performer. You go wham, and then you just bam, come back at you. It's kind of really cool.
Back from the Hilton.
Oh, so are you gonna have the All-Star Jam at the end? That's gonna you're gonna make the whole. I mean, you've got the prison on the hill. Like I this sounds terrible, but I mean, if they still had the historic prison on the hill, even though they still get called for real prisoners, but could you imagine if they had prisoners in there? They'd be like, "Thank God we have the blues," the music up there. You'd be you'd be doing like some Johnny Cashness over there. That would be really cool. But is there going to be the All-Star Jam at the end, and so you can really like make the whole city like quiver a little bit?
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Well, all of us will be up on that stage, all the major players, and we'll do 2 or 3 songs at the end all together, and we kind of just, we just say, how about this song and this key, and bam, off we go, and start trading licks and stuff. To me, that's the most fun, and that's my pay.
You have to come up with the squat dance.
Mm-hmm.
And so that it becomes a real song.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that shouldn't be a problem because Len is such a funky bass player that I know he knows exactly what to play to get you squatting.
Oh, squatting. I don't know. That sounds kind of, I don't know. That sounds mysterious.
You did. Well, just leave it at that. Well, it does, like as Nancy says later, it ends up with I've fallen and I can't get up, or I've squatted and I can't get up, and that's really what happens. It's at a certain time of night.
It's a competition.
In a concert, like you'll see all of a sudden, it's like after people have had a couple beers in, and then all of a sudden it's like women just go crazy and they start doing the squat dance, and it's the women. We become ducks.
No, this is the squat dance. You stick your butt out. You stick your butt out, and your elbows go out with your butt.
Yeah, it happens. That's a natural thing.
And then you're like swaying from side to side to the rhythm, and you're slowly
going down.
Down.
The
further down you go, the further out your butt goes, until you get to the point where the butt outweighs the rest of you, and you fall.
Yeah, you could either land on your butt or you could go face first. So anyway.
That sounds like a Neon Moon song there for sure.
I know, that's what I'm saying. There's some of that, that's where you're holding on to somebody tightly, But okay, so you guys, before you go, because this is going to be such a cool festival, we've definitely got to play some McCoy Brothers, right? So who's in the McCoy Brothers band? You got to give them a shout. I was watching some of your YouTube videos, and you got a lot more like on there, and everyone's got to look them up. McCoy Brother Band, they're up on Facebook as well. And for
Yep.
Len Rainey and the Midnight Players, go to Reverb Nation, and you can watch videos there, and you can listen to music, and it's cool. Connect with them and see what's playing, where they're playing. But yeah, when you look at the McCoy brothers, everyone's got to know because you opened the show.
It's kind of tradition. Yep, and it's been a wonderful vehicle and motivator for our guys, and we do 99% all original material. It's got a little southern twang to it most of the time. The one that are you guys playing the Medicine song?
Oh, we have to. I mean, California is
Okay.
legal. We have to.
Well, it is legal. Yay!
Yay, California!
I feel the squat
Well,
coming.
that song is really out of the box as far as the McCoy brothers are concerned, because we're really a southern rock band that is blues based. So with harmonies, we love our harmonies, and so
Yeah,
that's
you guys
what we're
do
about.
harmonies. Well, you got Lonely
So yeah,
Love
we're
and
finally
Missing You.
got.
So I mean, we can play
finally
the
got
other two if you want.
Which one?
I have a thing
Whichever
about
one you want to play, ladies. That's fine with me.
Okay.
And
Both with the
before you
medicine.
do that, I just want to thank everybody for coming on the radio today, and looking forward to jamming with everybody and having a toddy or two with everybody. And
Thanks, Rob.
we're headed out there. I'll be there a few days early, and everybody's hotel rooms are all squared away, guys. And any questions, you all know how to get a hold of me. And I just wanted to say
1-800 Blues Moose.
once we get past this particular festival, I get to move on to my 20th annual. And
awesome.
I can't believe, I don't know where those years have gone. And we have had so many good times up in Julian and so many outstanding performers. And sometimes people never even heard of them. Like, a lot of people never heard of Philip Sayce when he was with us last year. And so
Wow.
it's been almost like a family reunion more than a festival, because so many people have come so many years in a row, and they see the folks that they've seen over the years, and they want to sit next to them and all that kind of stuff. And they have the faith in me that I'm going to bring the best I can find. And we've never been corporate sponsored, so I have to thank my family so much for getting behind me and manning all the stations and things like that. Also, the city of Yuma, love them. They're fantastic to work with. And the marketing director that I worked with for the last bunch of years, Miriam Lamone, is leaving.
Yeah.
She's leaving her position and going to work for a new company. So we want to wish her the best of luck, and she has just been a wonderful partner and my liaison back to the city. So I want to wish her all the best, and looking forward to Julian. Now listen to this, ladies. We're going to have, so far, we've got from Oregon this fella named Billy D and the Hoodoos. And
I already
they've
like
done
it. I'm down.
Oh, this guy. His CD sat in my studio for like a month, and I said, "Oh, I gotta put this into the machine," and it blew me away. And I get a lot of CDs every year, and I called him up in Oregon. We talked for like an hour, and he's played the Big Blues Bender in Vegas, the Waterfront Blues Festival in Portland, the Chicago Blues Festival. This guy is really fun. Then we got I met this guy named Simon Kenny Lewis. He's a guitar player from Melbourne, Australia, and he is an incredible player. And so he's going to get some dates in LA and be able to come to Julian. Then we've got this guy named Chris Kane, who is an incredible guitar player.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
he's absolutely amazing. Yeah.
I've heard of him.
So he's going to be up in Julian this year. And I got a couple other little things up my sleeve, for the 20th anniversary. And I'm really proud of that. And I just want to thank everybody, all my blues heads and everybody that have supported us over the years. And we'll see what the future holds. I'm a songwriter. I'm a player. There are times when I'm trying to wear two hats at the same time. It's very difficult. And so I'm going to have to grow up and decide which of the hats I'm going to wear. move forward with the rest of my life.
You can do both.
You can do both.
If you can squat and then get back up, you're okay.
Yeah.
If you can do that,
somebody else has to help you. We're not letting you quit. No.
Rob-Bowers.
No.
Bowers. I'm putting an S on that. Rob-BowerPresents.com is the website for all of the festivals, and it's Rob with 2 B's because he is special. He's a special dude, cool dude. And I have an announcement.
And Moose don't
and
quit.
this is all because of you, Blues Moose. May 18th, Big Blend Radio, Barbecue Blues and Brews Festival, Radio Festival, 3-hour festival dedicated to the blues so that we can celebrate your 20th anniversary, so you better be on the show. And Mr. Richard Blitz, Mr. Len Rainey, we'd love to have you on the show as well to come and join us for some barbecue, some blues, and some blues music and brews.
And some big-time squatting.
And, and we'll have a squat dance contest.
And what about Priscilla? We got to have Priscilla.
Our little pink sock monkey. She's she's going to manage your little banana things up in the sky that you have that are playing with the sound.
But I have to say what happened to Priscilla. We have a friend who sent us a mason jar that had no moonshine in it because you can't, we found out, ship moonshine.
Well, from the illegal distilleries anyway.
Yeah, so there was no moonshine, but there was plenty of fumes. And she put her head in the jar, and she hasn't come out.
No. And
those darn sock monkeys.
I know.
But all I can tell you is the shine. I have to
that's
say,
where you found out that she actually has 2 smiles, one bigger than the other.
Yeah, she bends over. Anyway, so anyhow, I'll put that up on Facebook somewhere. But all I can say is Richard Blitz, your last name goes with the shine, the moonshine. There's got to be some kind of connection there, you know.
Well, thanks, Nancy and Lisa.
I want to thank you guys all for joining us. It has been a pleasure meeting you and having Alistair back on the show. I want to give out your websites. Alistair Green, everybody, Alistair is with Alastair, Alistair Green with an E on the end. And sometimes he may be wearing a kilt, sometimes not. But go get his new album. It is incredible, Dream Train. Go get it. Also, over in San Diego, Richard Blitz. Google the Blitz Brothers. Or Blitz Brothers. I can say it. I swear I'm not drinking whiskey. But if you're going to record anything in San Diego, apparently, this is the place to go. So go to blitzrecording.com. And also
thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think it's we need recording people, to be doing the job that you're doing, this making sure it goes out there well. It's like publishers and getting good quality content out there, good music that we can all just sit back and dig. So I appreciate that.
Talk about wearing 2 hats, right, Richard?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's all part of the same painting for me. It's just painting with sound.
Exactly, and I want to I like that. It is because it is. See, it is legal in California. I want to give a shout out to Barney because you've been fun to work with. He doesn't just send you an email that's black and white. He's like, no, you're going to get blue here, you're going to get red here. I'm going to give you color.
Barney.
He said that. Yeah, Barney.
I love you, man.
Yeah. I want to thank Len for calling in. You came in right at the right time. I mean, you got style, dude.
Thank you so much.
But,
and we'll see you all soon.
Yeah.
Sure will.
Yeah, we will see you all. And Cut You Loose. I love that track, too, by the way. And everyone, again, the Ben Robinson Band will also be playing. Go to Rob Bauer. If you go to rob-bauerpresents.com, you're going to go stay in Yuma. I have to say, check out the CoronadoMotorHotel.com. Since, they've been long-term supporters, you got to go stay there.
They just won an award.
They just, the Booking.com, they just won a big award over there, so check that out. And also keep up with Julian up in the San Diego mountains. Go to Julian, June 16th, 2018. And again, the festival is February 17th, 2018 over in Yuma, Arizona. Rob, real quick, what are the tickets, the cost of the tickets? We never said anything about that.
I think they're $30 in advance now. You got to go to my website, and there's a link right over to the Yuma ticket site. And I think they're $35 the day of the show. 30 in advance and 35. Right. And I think there's a military discount, and there's quite a wonderful group of Marine Corps families out there that we would love to invite, being that I have a Marine Corps background. And hoorah, devil dogs, come on down and party.
Right on. Is somebody playing Under
Yeah.
Pressure? Who's playing
Under
that?
Pressure.
Was that Under Pressure? It's either that or Ice Ice Baby. I
heard squat dancer discount.
I know, okay, yeah. Thank you guys. We're gonna play.
There's gonna be an after party at Jimmy D's that night.
Oh,
and
that gets down and dirty over there.
Oh yeah. So a lot of our fans and a lot of the musicians will end up over at Jimmy D's later on that evening for a little after party jam session, and probably some squat dancing will be involved. So.
All right, everybody, bring your cameras.
We gotta go.
I know we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to show off our squat.
Oh yeah.
All right,
yeah.
let me hear some McCoy Brothers.
That's it. That's it. We're going to play Give Me My Medicine from the McCoy Brothers. Check them out on YouTube, on Facebook. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Everybody go to the festival. And if you're looking to learn more about Yuma, go to nationalparktraveling.com and type in Yuma. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks so
ladies.
much.
Love you, ladies.
Appreciate it. See you soon.
Love you too, Rob. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Give
Here
me
it is.
Give me my medicine. Give me my medicine.
Here it is. I know. Go to California, and this is what you'll get. everyone again. That was Give Me My Medicine over from the McCoy Brothers. And I have a thing about that song.
That was really
I
cool.
love their music.
That's
I love their music.
awesome.
And it's like over these years interviewing Rob and doing these segments, which are some of my most, I don't know, every time we do this, we get naughty, but
I know.
I
there's something
love
about
these
it.
segments with these guys.
So
I
much
mean,
fun.
he has such talent going into these festivals, but finally being able to air their music on the show has been awesome.
Cool.
So I want to go see them in person, and that's the best thing, is to go to the festival again February 17th in Yuma, Arizona, the 4th annual Boogie, Brews, and Blues Festival. Some amazing talent, as you heard today, so please go check it out and go discover Yuma. It's an awesome destination that's really growing, with what they're doing. So good to have them there. So, all right, everybody, are you ready for some art?
Sure.
I know.
I want to paint to the blues now.
Uh-huh. I know. We're gonna go. Well, we're not gonna paint to the blues.
I know.
I know. You want to do that?
I know.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool.
You think so?
Mhm.
Okay. I think it'd be cool. Painting in the right music is really good.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go over to Tucson. So we're going to go a little east of Yuma, Arizona, over here in our hometown, and we're going to go to DeGrazia Gallery in the Sun, where I had a conversation with Lance, the Tucson dude. We love the Tucson dude, and he talks about 2 new exhibits happening from the infamous artist Ted DeGrazia, the world's most reproduced artist. So everybody, stay tuned. Here it is, Lance Laber. The DeGrazia Gallery in the Sun is a 10-acre National Historic District in the foothills of Tucson, Arizona's beautiful Santa Catalina Mountains. It was designed and built from the ground up by Ted DeGrazia, who achieved worldwide acclaim for his colorful paintings of native cultures of the Sonoran Desert. And using traditional adobe bricks crafted right on site, DeGrazia built the gallery so his paintings would feel good inside. I encourage you to go to the website degrazia.org to have a look at the grounds and to plan your visit. We're very excited because 2 new exhibits are coming up in January, running from the end of January through basically into summer and one into fall. And that means the Tucson dude is back on Big Blend Radio today. Lance Laber, who is the executive director of the gallery, is joining us to talk about these new exhibits. Lance, how are you doing, Tucson dude?
I'm doing good, Lisa. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
I was just going to say, it's so exciting. You've got 2 new exhibits coming up, and that's something I wanted to touch base on because, a lot of people come out to the gallery. I know winter especially, you get a lot of, Tucson gets busy in the winter and the spring. It's the season to visit. But a lot of people come out to see the permanent exhibits. You've got 6 permanent collections of Ted DeGrazia's paintings, but then you have these rotating exhibits. You have what? They change out about, 3 times a year? 3-4 times a year?
Yeah, every 6 months or so.
Yeah. So these ones, the next 2 exhibits, you've got DeGrazia's hot wax encaustic paintings from the 1950s, and then we're also going to talk about The Way of the Cross, which is an annual exhibit that happens every spring and winter. But let's touch base a little bit about the gallery itself. So when was it actually built? It's been a while.
The gallery, DeGrazia bought the property in 1949. He bought 10 acres right at the base of the Santa Catalina Mountains. And he started building, and he built his home, and he built a little small gallery, and he built a little church. And that was kind of his base of operations. He got that going. And then in 1959, he started work on his main gallery, which is a 16,000 square foot gallery. It's huge. And that was finished in 1965.
Wow.
So there was quite a long time from the time he bought the property till the time he actually finished his main gallery.
Wow. Do you think he treated that like his art? Because, it's even the way it's built, using Adobe and then working with locals too, to build it. It seems like, when you walk into the main gallery, what's the main gallery now, with having like the cholla cactus floors and all the tin work, like all the metal work around it. It seemed to me like he treated this is his piece of art too, not just to store his paintings and
There's
show
no
them.
question about that. He was a kind of a self-trained architect, and this gallery that he built was just an art palace. Every inch of it had his had his touch, and it was just a beautiful artistic building.
That's what I was going to say. People go for the art, but also go for the architecture and the gardens too. Especially if you go in spring, all the cactus corral, all in bloom. It's so beautiful. You got that lovely fountain out there, the Yaqui Deer Dancer. But yeah, you've got over 15,000 originals at the gallery, right? But you don't see them all at one time when you go.
No, there's not enough room. We would need a gallery 10 times the size of the one we have to show all the paintings and all the art we have. We just have a huge amount of art, and that's probably just as many pieces in private hands as in our collection. So there's probably 30 or 40,000 pieces that DeGrazia did in his lifetime.
And that, and when we talk about pieces, it could be ceramics, it could be jewelry, a sculpture, it could be a watercolor, an oil painting, because he had no limit to what he wanted to create. And then you've also got his wife Marion DeGrazia's art there too. And so it's just such an interesting place to visit. And I want to tell everyone it's not only on the National Register of Historic Places, it's also included on the National Geographic Map Guide of the Sonoran Desert. I love that map. I love that whole project that they did. They're just going around and getting people to vote on who should be on that map. It's super cool. So, anyway, let's talk about hot wax. What was he doing with hot wax? This is
hot wax.
Again, that just
okay,
anything, right?
that was his encaustic paintings. It's done with obviously you put it on canvas or you put it on some kind of a base that's a solid base, or wood. You can put it on just about anything, and it's basically melted beeswax or melted crayons or melted wax, and you apply it to the canvas as you want. I'm not quite sure how he put the color in it to get it to stay, but anyway, they're very interesting paintings. They're just beautiful, but they're very different than people are used to seeing.
Yeah, it's got this like a vibrancy to them, but also like a shininess. Like it's really, really neat. So yeah,
it is. When you look at it, you can see that it's made out of something melted, and I wish I had been around to kind of watch him do these paintings. Certainly give me a better idea as to how they were done.
Yeah, I know, because you would think like, okay, how did he do it like if they were flat? Because when you're painting, your canvas is, or your watercolor paper is normally upright. Well, watercolors is down sometimes depending on who's doing what and where. But with this, like you wonder, is like the wax going to melt down, or
well, you would think that it would have to be laid flat, and you would be melting your materials, and I suspect you'd have to just pour it on there, and then kind of spread it around as you want it. It would be. It seems like it would be very hard, a hard material to control.
It's kind of looks to me like it would be like icing a hot cake. You're supposed to wait for the cake to cool so that your icing doesn't run around. I know.
That's a very good analogy.
Kind of like doing a palette knife thing too, but the color comes through really neat, which is really interesting.
Right.
I was looking at some of the work. Now you got one of this rocking horse, and it's pink, and it's playful, And it's like these are really, this exhibit that you're showcasing is when he did this in the 1950s, and it's really scenes from everyday life. But this was what he got into. Did he do it later, or is it just really in the 50s that he did this?
Well, it was there was a time during the 50s when he was really experimenting with different materials and different styles and just different ways of creating. He was doing a lot of ceramics at the time, and he was doing these encaustic paintings. He was just experimenting with just all kinds of different materials. So he would work for 8 or 10 years on something different, and then after I guess he felt he had enough time put in with that, or he got bored, he'd go back to oil painting and really focus on that, which is what he did after the 50s, and when he pretty much stopped doing ceramics and kind of stopped doing the encaustics. Well, then he went right back to painting lots of oil paintings.
Neat.
Guy never
neat.
quit. He never did quit.
Yeah, I know. It could be anything, like the ceramics, or like, I'm going to do jewelry today. Like, I think he just had that kind of like, he would never be good at an office job. That wouldn't work.
No, that would never happen.
Could you imagine him doing data entry? He'd make his own language or something like that. But everyone, this exhibit runs from January 26th through September 5th, 2018. So you got time to go and check this out. Definitely, come out to Tucson, and for locals, you got to go back. You got to keep going back. That's what I love about the rotating exhibits. It gives us this opportunity to see something new each time you go back to the gallery. So, again, this is going to be out there till September 5th. Now, the other exhibit that's coming up also January 26th through May 15th, 2018 is Way of the Cross. Now, this has been like a tradition ever since I've known you, Lance. You talk about the Way of the Cross, and I hear that you get in trouble if you don't do it, if you don't put that up.
Yeah, well, the snowbirds start arriving in October or November, and the closer it gets to Easter, they start looking for the Way of the Cross. And luckily, I've never not put it up. Because people get angry. I've traveled from Canada, or we've traveled from Germany to see these paintings, and where are they? So we make sure that they're up.
So you get a lot of Europeans that come through, huh? Well, I know we get a lot of European visitors to Tucson, so they come out and see and have a look. Because, to me, and doesn't that go to, wasn't Ted DeGrazia? He's of Italian descent, right?
Yeah, and we do get a lot of people from Italy. We get a lot of people from Germany. A lot of Canadians, Japanese. We get a lot of people from everywhere, all different countries, and
yeah,
it's pretty amazing. DeGrazia actually was pretty internationally known for many years. And now that he's been gone 35 years, hopefully people aren't forgetting about him, and we'll try to start over and get people to visit, especially local people. We need people from Tucson to come and visit.
And because he's a Tucsonite. Because
he is. Yes, he is.
He comes from Morenci, the little mining town up north of here. But when you think about international acclaim, it's because he really is known as being the world's most reproduced artist. So is it the UNICEF card that really put more of the international fame on his shoulders, or was it when he went down to Mexico and worked with Diego Rivera?
No, it was UNICEF. It was definitely UNICEF. When he went to Mexico, there was a very positive response. The Mexicans, Diego Rivera, Jose Orozco, they loved him. But when he came back to Tucson, when he came back to the United States, it just didn't transfer. So that was about the time he decided that he needed to build his own gallery. Otherwise, he was going to struggle. And when UNICEF took that card or took that image and made greeting cards out of it, and they sold so many millions worldwide, that definitely put him on the map internationally.
How interesting. Let's go back to Way of the Cross, because I know that was he very religious? Because I know he built the mission and everything on site, and also had the nuns' quarters as one of the buildings there. But I know that's not
the nuns'
people,
house.
But
DeGrazia was religious. I don't think he liked to. He was not a church-going man. I think he was religious in his own way. Of course, he was raised as a Catholic, being from Italy, and so what he did was just built his own church, and used that as his way of honoring his religion, without going to church and doing it officially. I think that he tried to convince people he wasn't religious, but then what you do is you build a church and you paint the Way of the Cross, and he definitely had feelings for his religion.
Probably more spiritual, and I think what's interesting, because people do build their own churches. Look at Mel Gibson; he did that. There's people that do that.
Well, Mel Gibson's a
they
nut.
Don't want to be. They're not the same people, right? I'm not getting into that, but there's a thing of not being public with what you do. Even though he had a gallery and wanted people to come to the gallery, there's this certain amount of privacy too, right? Because you always talk about how it's like at 4:00, that's it. You're not coming in. So maybe it was part of his privacy that he did that.
Well, that's true, but he also, he built that, and he made sure that everybody knew that they were welcome to come in there. It didn't matter if you were Catholic or Muslim or Jewish or whatever. It was a chapel that anybody could go to and use in the way you needed to. Obviously it had it was dedicated to Our Lady of Guadalupe, so there was certainly a Catholic feel to it. But he would come right out and say, everybody's welcome here. You want to come in here and light a candle and put a picture of your beloved pet dog, be my guest. And so that's what he did.
It's neat. And actually, going back real quick to the encaustic paintings, the one that I was looking at too, of Our Lady Guadalupe is beautiful. He really captured the essence of her, I love them. Through the gallery, he's got so many different pictures of her, and just all the, when you look at even San Xavier del Bac. Am I saying it correctly yet, Lance?
Xavier, yes.
I'll get it there one day. I do say saguaro instead of saguaro. So one step at a time
better.
here
That's
in Tucson.
Good. That's good.
I'm getting there. I'm getting my Tucson roots. It takes a while, but it's interesting because he's done all those, like the processions and the different festivals, and the different celebrations that happen. And so it's really interesting, when you go through the gallery, seeing all of this, and then having the Way of the Cross. It kind of, puts it's like another story that he's telling as well, because this is like the Way of the Cross is like a series of paintings. Like he's done a lot of series of, like the bullfighters and different pieces of Southwestern history, which is so neat, and people's stories. So this is one of those series, the Way of the Cross.
Yeah. Now this was an interesting thing. Back, I believe, around 1960. There's at the University of Arizona, there's a Catholic center called the Newman Center, and the priest at the time asked DeGrazia to paint these this Way of the Cross, this series. And at first, DeGrazia said, "No, I'm not going to do this because I'm actually not worthy. I don't think I can do a good job." And he thought about it for a while, and luckily for him, he thought twice about it and changed his mind, and then did it, and did such an amazing job. So they took all this series of paintings and put it up at the Newman Center. And when the people at the Newman Center realized that this collection was basically worth a fortune and that they couldn't afford the insurance for it, they took it down and gave it back to the gallery and put up reproductions instead, just because of the value of the collection.
Wow.
So,
and so the way of the so that's how this ended up back in the gallery, and so every year people can go look at it, and it's going to be up until May 15th. So now there's 15 oil paintings, right? That's where it starts off, and then this year you're adding watercolors to this. Tell us a little bit about the paintings. Yeah.
Well, they were studies. DeGrazia did studies of each one of the stations in watercolor. Actually, he did a few studies in oil too. He had them all worked out before he started painting his oils, and they're actually very beautiful, really, really beautiful paintings. So they're certainly worth. It's certainly worth it to come in and take a look and see what he did.
So that's interesting that he would do a watercolor as a study before he painted. So, like, this is what I'm going to do, and then he goes and does it in oil. Did he do it just with this exhibit, or is that something he did a lot of for all his other?
No, he did a lot of. He did a lot of studies of different paintings. I think that, he just wanted to make sure he got it right the first time around. So he would do a study and get all the details worked out in the painting. And then paint it in oil, and generally worked out for him. Neat.
So new exhibits, everybody, at DeGrazia Gallery in the Sun. You can go to degrazia.org to learn more and to find out all the details about visiting in Tucson, Arizona. Definitely worthwhile a visit. And locals, get out there and go check out all the new stuff that's happening. There's always a reception, so January 26th. Take a look for that. There'll be one for, is it the 26th? Yes, from 5 to 7. There is an opening reception for DeGrazia's hot wax and caustic paintings, and most likely also for Way of the Cross. Before you go, Lance, we're talking about we want people to remember DeGrazia, so we've got to play the song Please Remember Me. It's the title track to an album, which this is music that his son, Domingo DeGrazia, is on there, is featured on there, but this is also including pieces that Ted DeGrazia wrote and you found.
Great, correct.
Yeah, so yes, everyone get the album. Go check it out at degrazia.org. You can also get the album at the gallery when you visit there and go in the gift shop there, too. Thank you so much for joining us, Lance. Always a pleasure to have the Tucson Dude on Big Blend Radio.
Thanks, Lisa. You guys have a happy New Year, and please give my best to Mother Nancy, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, and Priscilla, the little pink sock monkey.
And Priscilla, could never forget Priscilla.
Oh my gosh, our sock monkey has a good time over at DeGrazia Gallery. Well, we'll see you in the new year. Everybody go check it out. January 26th is when the new exhibits happen, and the one going through to September 5th and the other one through May. So check that out, degrazia.org. Happy New Year, Lance. You take care.
Thanks, Lisa. Talk to you soon.
Here
Bye-bye.
it is, everyone. Please remember me. Bye-bye. one. That was Please Remember Me. It's the title track of the album, using all the manuscripts, the musical manuscripts of artist Ted DeGrazia, just the infamous artist of the Southwest. And they found his manuscripts, his music manuscripts, and also paintings that went with them. And at one point actually had a whole exhibit of that up at the gallery. They change it all the time, so check it out at degrazia.org. You can also get the album there. And they recreated that music with the Tucson Jazz Orchestra and also his son, Domingo DeGrazia, who's running for office. You go, Domingo. We need more people like you in office. Just saying. Give a shout out to Domingo.
Cool.
I know. I
vote for him.
But I know I have to do this. I'll also play this every time we can for Steve Schneikert, our Hollywood historian, because he loves that song. And who doesn't? That's one of the most classiest, most beautiful songs out there.
DeGrazia is a really interesting man.
We could have met him.
I know, and it's really funny because I recognize his art the first time we walked in that building, and it took me a while to figure out where I saw it, and it was from a UNICEF card that my Aunt Mona bought boxes of them, and I was his kid, and my job was to write Merry Christmas and best wishes for a Happy New Year on every single card, because they came with the beautiful painting of Los Niños on the front of the card, and she didn't have anything printed on the inside. So I got to write, and she worked at the auto club. She's very high up in the automobile club. So she had all these, like, hundreds of cards. So I got to print Merry Christmas and best wishes for a Happy New Year on every single card. And then she brought out a stamp. She had her name, my Uncle Bud and Aunt Mona's name, on a stamp and stamped their names on. It was really funny because here's purple ink stamp, like you've been bank canceled. Official. Yeah. So she just went stamp, 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 but I had to write everything out. So I saw the Los Niños painting so many times, but I never really knew where the painting came from until we walked into that gallery and went, I know these paintings.
That's amazing.
I know. That's how famous Ted DeGrazia is, because I was just a kid and I already knew the paintings, not particularly him. But
and Lance gets emails every single day of, I have an original, and he's like, really?
Man,
Check it out. And sometimes it happens. But going into consignment shop to me is always interesting because you have paintings and books, and there's always some kind of story. And it's like we've been talking to Lance about Ted DeGrazia, I would say
for years now,
about 10 years, like honestly, and the stories never end about Ted DeGrazia. And if I could have a happy hour with somebody, it would be him.
That would be a good choice.
Chivas Regal, because they found all these empty boxes of Chivas Regal filled with silver bullets. Well, cash, silver bullets and cash, but there wasn't booze in there.
Well, no, he used
the last time I visited the gallery to go see Lance, I told they have a Chivas Regal in his studio where he's painting. They have it all set up, and I told Lance, I was like, dude, I sipped some of the Chivas Regal, man, and he's like, oh, cool, and I was like, dude, I would never do that, and apparently it's real. So when you go in the gallery, go take a swig, just saying.
Oh. Nice.
And tell Lance I sent you. Just say Lisa said do it. But now we're going to go to California, Central California, and we just had a segment about Exeter, California, which is in California Sequoia country, just a few minutes outside of Sequoia National Park. And one of the ways they brought people to their town and this historic downtown. I mean, when we talk about Mayberry, this is it. I mean, it's that. And they decorated their town, these historic buildings, with murals that tell the story of the town. And Hollister, California, which is outside Pinnacles National Park, you can drive on the same highway at 180 from Sequoia National Park to Pinnacles and right up into Hollister. It's the same thing. There's these murals and historic homes. So you've got this historic architecture tour. You've got a geology tour because they're on the San Andreas Fault, which makes Pinnacles Park, what it is with all this geology and biodiversity. It's such a cool park. But there's this historic walking tour, and then there's the art tour with all these murals and statues, and Nancy and I did it and had a good time. But there's also this Arts Council that overlooks the entire county, and this is just if you go to San Benito County, you're going to keep going back like we do. And I got a chance to speak with Jennifer Lane from the San Benito Arts Council and take a listen to what they're doing for education of the arts. She talks about the Open Studios art tour and the Downtown Hollister Public Art Walking Tour. And it's just these kind of organizations, we really need them more than ever. Things like what Rob Bauer is doing. The gallery, DeGrazia Gallery, we have to keep our arts alive. I know things happen in the world, politically or non-politically. There's just, suddenly, okay, budget cut to a school or budget cut to this, parks, whatever it is, your national parks. Sorry, oops, we want to drill instead. I wasn't going to get political, but we have to protect
I didn't do it. You did it.
These educational institutions, because that is, we can't do this. Our future, our children moving into the world and that are there now, they deserve this. We can't hand them a bad platter, a negative platter. We need to hand them, as soon as they come into this world, a platter of we're here to support you and help you on your journey, whether you're going to be an artist, a musician, a writer, a poet, an actor, a dancer, a parks employee, someone that works in nature, science, a firefighter. We like you. No matter what you're going to be, a doctor. We need to help them do that.
Well, and here's another way of looking at it. What gives anybody the right to destroy history?
Yeah, or nature. So everybody, take a listen to my conversation with Jennifer, and such an amazing program that they have over in San Benito County. And you can go to discoversanbenitocounty.com to learn more about the area. And we also covered it in nationalparktraveling.com. Jennifer Lane is the Executive Director of the San Benito County Arts Council, and she's joining us on Big Blend Radio today to talk about the area's art scene, the public art, and even an art walk that you can do in downtown Hollister, their education programs, and also the upcoming Spring Open Studios Tour that's happening in April 2018. Now, if you're wondering where San Benito County is, it's in Central California, just east of Monterey. It's a beautiful destination. It's the gateway, or the eastern gateway community to Pinnacles National Park. There's a wine tasting trail. There's all kinds of dining and boutique shops to go and visit, all kinds of wonderful restaurants. There's all kinds of outdoor activities to enjoy as well, and some wonderful communities to visit, like historic Hollister, San Juan Bautista, Tres Pinos, and Paisanos. So a lot of great places to enjoy. So check out discoversanbenitocounty.com for all your travel information. And for the arts, go to sanbenitoarts.org. Jennifer, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's really beautiful where you live, and I'm really glad that the arts is such a big part of, the life and the culture of San Benito County. It's the first thing we noticed in downtown Hollister was all the art and mural and public art everywhere. Can you give us a little overview of the actual Arts Council and why the San Benito County Arts Council even started up?
Yes, I'd be happy to. So our Arts Council, we're an umbrella arts organization for the entire county. We're a private nonprofit, so we're not a branch of government. But basically our job is really to, throughout the county, to increase access and participation and involvement in the arts for all residents. And we do that in a number of ways. We have a number of programs that we run directly, and then we also work hard to support local artists and arts organizations in their own work and their own practice. So like you mentioned, some of our most exciting programs include arts and education. We run 2 art spaces in downtown Hollister. We coordinate public art in collaboration with the city of Hollister, and a number of other exciting initiatives and projects.
And when it comes to the arts, are you, celebrating all the arts, right, from performing arts to visual arts, a little bit of everything?
Yes, so we do a little bit of everything. Our goal really is to showcase and provide opportunities, in all artistic mediums. So that includes in the performing arts, visual arts, literary arts, and digital media as well.
Excellent. And then what about the education side for the youth? Because that's something, we see across the country, that a lot of the programs in schools are being cut. I don't know what it's like in San Benito County, but I do know the arts are in trouble in schools in a lot of other areas. Is that something you focus on as well?
Yes, absolutely. So you're right that the arts have, over the last several years, taken a hit. throughout the entire nation, but we're really seeing a resurgence, especially here in California.
Awesome.
You know, there's a big movement in STEAM education, so that's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. We're seeing a lot of schools incorporate this approach and really helping kids learn and develop skills for the 21st century, and we're definitely a part of that movement. And also, too, we acknowledge that in rural communities, our kids here need access to the arts really more than ever because, you know, here locally, if kids want to participate in dance or music, oftentimes they will have to travel outside of the community to have access to these kind of opportunities, and then you're really talking about families that can afford to pay for these lessons outside of the community, that have time to travel. And so we try to, as much as possible, embed art programs into the schools because that is really the main way to make it accessible to all. So our arts and education program is by far our most robust program that we have, where we bring performing artists into the schools. Sometimes it's the first time that students are seeing, you know, a live performance of taiko music or of multicultural storytelling or dance. And then we also do a number of artists in residencies where we have professional teaching artists working with students in the classroom on a number of arts topics. It could be lessons on poetry. We have an environmental literacy project where kids are learning about the environment through creative writing. So this is kind of arts integration where you're, integrating the arts with other core topics. We also do, just kind of classic arts too, watercoloring and, visual arts programs as well.
Excellent.
Yeah, and
this is exciting to see that it's actually going into the schools with people coming in and doing performances for them and stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's great too. And part of it is with a lot of the new teachers, because the arts was taken out not only of the school day curriculum, but also out of the training for teachers as they're going through their credentialing process. So part of the real great advantage of putting teaching artists into the classrooms is that teachers get to learn alongside them as well and feel more confident in doing more arts activities themselves. So we also run another strand of teacher workshops on arts integration. And then I'm also always really excited to talk about a few of our really specific programs that address arts accessibility for at-risk youth. So we run one project called the Dreams Project, where we do year-round artists in residencies in our county juvenile hall, and then also at San Andreas Continuation High School for at-risk high school kids. And then we also run our own after-school arts programs at our space in downtown Hollister at the Annex.
Very nice. And then I saw something. Don't you do a veterans program too, or starting a veterans program?
We do. So we've been very fortunate to partner closely with the California Arts Council, and they have a number of grant-funded initiatives to fund programs that really encourage certain types of arts engagement. So one of them is called the Veterans Initiative in the Arts, and we've applied for and successfully received this grant the last 2 years that really looks to engage the veterans in the arts and then also communicate veterans' experiences and stories to the broader community. So last year was the first time we got the grant, and we partnered with our local Veterans of Foreign Wars, so the VFW, and also our American Legion, and we did a digital storytelling project where we recorded and made videos of local veterans' stories and experiences and then shared those kind of in a public film screening. And then we also commissioned a large mural on the back side of our Veterans Memorial Building in downtown Hollister. And the content was created in collaboration between the artist and both veterans groups. And then the artist himself is also a veteran. So he's a younger artist, a younger veteran that served 3 tours in Iraq and resides here locally. So it was a very meaningful project.
Wow, that's amazing. And that memorial building, too, is beautiful, and it's actually part of the art walk that you have. Nancy and I did that, and it's amazing, walking to downtown. It's some good exercise there, I'm just saying. And it's really neat because it tells the story of Hollister and San Benito County walking around there. And that building is just so beautiful. But that's part of the tour, of the walking tour, is actually that building. I remember the Bald Eagle.
Yes, that's right. So there's a terrazzo image of an eagle in the front of the Veterans Memorial Building, which is really a landmark here in downtown Hollister. It's a beautiful building, and it's used very regularly by community organizations, by local government, and then it's also rented out for special private events. So, the building itself is part of the tour with the eagle in the front, and now we have the new mural on the back. And then really you can go around from there, walking around downtown Hollister, and see all different kinds of forms and subject matter of public art.
Yeah, you've got about, over 20 places that you can go and see the different, 22. Well, it's more now because you've got that new mural, pieces of art in the downtown. And I think this is so neat when you have a public walking tour, when people can do it themselves or go on a lead tour if there's anything like that out there. I know they do that with the architecture and historic buildings, and you can do both or, just take one walk at a time. It's healthy for people to get out and see this, but they're also learning the stories of the community. Like, it's the birthplace of the American biker, Hollister is, so you get to see murals of that, too. One of my favorites was Ronald Rocha, the Dream of Humanity. That is one of the coolest murals, isn't it? It's on a grocery store, as I recall.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's on Hollister Super, which is kind of more of our one of the more kind of Latino markets, in that they stock a lot of products from Mexico and food for Mexican cooking, and it just has this beautiful mural, just very vibrant on the front, and that's a great place to get started. That's a little bit at the north end of our downtown, and when you download the Public Art Walking Tour, which is available on our website, it's also available through the Chamber and the Hollister Downtown Association. So this was the three of us, along with the City of Hollister, collaborated to create the Downtown Public Art Walking Tour. And, as you mentioned, so everything is very walkable. It's probably, I would say, maybe a mile, circumference or, across. And within that, there's just a high concentration of different pieces that you can see. The most recent pieces actually have yet to be added, so that includes the Veterans mural I was just talking about. And we also this last summer commissioned 5 new utility box murals that have yet to be added to the Public Art Walking Tour. So we'll be doing that very soon.
That's cool. And you also have you've got the totem pole. That's the furthest you're going to walk from the downtown, is that totem pole.
Actually, that's true. Yeah, and that's up on Park Hill, which is gorgeous. So if you can make that walk, and I encourage you to do so, you'll be rewarded with a beautiful view over downtown Hollister. It's really the highest point in our downtown, and there's a great park up there for picnicking and a great new playground for kids. And you can also even hike behind Park Hill. There are some trails back there that are really lovely.
I liked it up there because you've got that garden, too, so there's like a little community garden, and I thought, that's neat, man. And that's the thing, your area is also very, it's big on agriculture, a lot of organic agriculture, which is really nice. And so I saw a lot of that in the art, too, on the utility boxes. And so it just is like, hey, we're celebrating who we are, which is neat. One of the pieces I saw also was in loving memory and spirit of Eric Tognazzini. I don't want to say his name wrong. Do you know about that piece?
Yes, I know a bit. So the Arts Council, we weren't directly involved in that piece, but having grown up here, I do know Eric. So he was a local community member who was just very active in the community. He was very involved with Sacred Heart Church and with the school there. And when he passed away, his family, along with our local community foundation, raised money to create a bronze statue in his honor. And he was known for riding around town on his bike, and so it's just a nice nod to him and to his family. And also with this whole art walk, and I know it was all these organizations coming together. One of my favorites was actually you get to go underground, go underneath the street. It's pretty cool. Are the artists local? Where did the artists come from to put all this together? Yeah, so most of the artists are local, so especially with the pieces. So not all of the pieces were commissioned by the Arts Council, and kind of what I mentioned in the beginning, I can elaborate slightly more on. So the Arts Council, we're about 10 years old. There was a county arts commission that was founded in the early 80s that was around for about 20 years or so. And then it went away for a period of time. And there was about 10 years where the county did not have kind of like a umbrella arts organization to really promote the arts throughout the community. So after the Arts Commission went away, there was definitely a bit of a vacuum, and so a number of artists and art supporters and local leaders got together and said, we really need to do something about this, and so they founded the Arts Council. So we are just about 10 years old. We're kind of like, I like to say that we're not quite a baby organization anymore. We're more in our toddler phase. But so on the art walk itself, there are pieces that were created and commissioned through different periods of sort of the arts growth and development. Not all were commissioned by us. Now, as a segue into working with local artists, so as the Arts Council, we are very enthusiastic about working with and supporting local artists. So most of the pieces, especially that were done within the last few years, have been created by local artists. We have a lot of local talent, both by more seasoned professional artists and then a lot of emerging talent as well.
Oh, neat. That's good to hear. And I think, well, when you live in such a beautiful area, it just, the arts go magically with it. That's kind of
I mean, we're known, as you say, we're known primarily for agriculture, and then on the kind of cultural side, we're known, too, as the birthplace of the American biker. And what's really developing now is, arts and culture, and we're so happy to see that growing.
Now let's talk about the local arts, because one of the things too that I was looking on your website, and everyone again at sanbenitoarts.org, you have the Open Studios tour coming up. I think it's April 14th through 15th in 2018, and so is this something where it's a tour where, like those self-guided like driving tours where you follow a map and go to different artists' studios and galleries? Is that how it works?
Yes, yeah. So the Open Studios Art Tour, it's really a time for people to, get out of their homes and go see, not just see artwork, but see how art is created. So we have a big kind of education component. This encompasses the entire county. And our county, in terms of square miles, is quite large. It's well over, I want to say it's around maybe 1,500 or 1,600 square miles. We only have a population of 52,000. So a lot of that, population is concentrated in the towns of Hollister, San Juan, and Aromas. And with Open Studios, it takes place in all parts of the county. So we have artists participating in North County, and it's gorgeous out there. So not only do you drive out to see the artists, but you get to see really the landscape and the farming community throughout the county. And then in Aromas, we have a very active group of artists that participate every year and that also do things throughout the year on their own. So the Aromas Hills Artisans, they're a very active collective of artists based in Aromas, which is a tri-county area. So Aromas butts up on Monterey County and Santa Cruz, and a lot of those artists will participate in all three Open Studios. So they'll do Santa Cruz Open Studios, which is in the fall, and Monterey County, and then they'll also do San Benito County as well. So what's nice about Open Studios is you see a whole range of visual artwork, everything from, something more on the, craft or artisan side of the spectrum to, classic oil painting and sculpture.
Really nice. And that's the one thing I think too is when people get to meet the artist, sometimes I know they'll show them how this is how they painted this, or they get to have that a deeper connection to art and understand the art process too with this kind of thing, and get to see the area.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So a lot of the artists, the event takes place in their studios. Sometimes there are group studios set up. And so they will have their tools out. They'll often create storyboards so people can see the artist. They'll do demonstrations. They'll have all kinds of different materials in addition to the artwork. And then it's a great opportunity, too, if you're looking to purchase artwork for your home or you're looking for gifts. It's a great chance to go out and buy directly, from the source and build your arts collection.
And I love that you're doing it in spring too, because you guys get a lot of wildflowers out there. It's like April is such a beautiful time of year in San Benito County. So people, you're going to get inspired to get out there and start playing their paintings somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. Every now and then we'll have a rainy open studios, but it's pretty rare. Generally, it almost feels kind of like the first really spring to summer-like weekend. I've been out so many times in April where it's warm and you're driving with the windows down, and it just feels so good to be out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on Big Blend Radio and giving us the inside scoop on the arts of San Benito County. I think what you're doing is excellent with education being at the forefront and promoting the local artists as well, and definitely the public art walk is just something, it's a great way to get outside, get that fresh air in, and learn more about the area's history and culture, the people, and, go shopping and go eat at one of the amazing restaurants, because you guys have some good food. You celebrate the culinary arts pretty well. in Hollister.
Yes, we definitely do. Yeah, we're close to the source. Yeah.
And wine too, art and wine go hand in hand. So that's another
Absolutely.
good thing. Yeah. Again, everybody, you can go to sanbenitoarts.org to learn more. Especially if you're an artist in the area, you might want to contact them to be part of the Open Studios tour. And also for area information, you can go to discoversanbenitocounty.com, and both websites will also help you get the maps for the walking tour. Thanks so much for joining us.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very cool. And, that area is so beautiful, again, near Pinnacles National Park. And one thing I want to give out this shout-out, everybody that is a nonprofit, or you can be a government-run facility. A lot of visitor bureaus are, some attractions are. But if you're a nonprofit and you are in the vicinity of a national park monument, a national seashore, anything that is run within the National Park Service, or even a state park, you're in a gateway community, anywhere near that, go to nationalparktraveling.com. You'll see under Get Featured that we are allowing nonprofits to have their own profile page listing of their facility, whether it's a visitor information center, it could be attraction, it could be a museum. You get your own photo, your own page listing, and a link to your website and a Google map. And we're doing this thank you to all of our sponsors and marketing partners who are able to do this. Our whole goal with our website, nationalparktraveling.com, is to connect the parks with their gateway communities so people know both places, and so that there's a more sustainable footprint when people travel, and that they come and visit you. And so please, again, it's nationalparktraveling.com. Just look at the top there where it says Get Featured. You'll see a free listing program there. And we want to do this across the country and around the world so more travelers know where to go. And, again, I want to thank our marketing partners for making this possible.
For sure.
Okay. So also, Facebook groups. We're talking about the arts today. Musicians, artists. We have a Facebook group called Celebrate the Arts and Creative Spirit. If you go to facebook.com, just type in Big Blend Magazine, you'll find us, find our groups, and join that. And please post your events, your gigs, your new videos, your new work, whatever you want to do. Please go there and enjoy that. Okay, so we have more music coming.
Cool.
We can't close this show out without some more blues. That's going to happen.
No, we have to.
But before we get to that, we are going to be back on Sunday, January 21st.
Wow, look how far we are already into this year.
I thought, wasn't it just Christmas? What happened?
Dude, I'm still on Halloween.
I know. It's like, I feel like, oh my gosh, our next magazine has to come out, which is the National Park one. It's our Parks and Travel magazine. So when you go there, sign up for a newsletter. You'll get it in your email box. We're working on that for the February-March issue. But yeah, World Radio Party is our Sunday show. January 21st airs live at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You can listen to them live through Blog Talk or catch it on demand there or on Spreaker, or just go to bigblendradio.com for everything we do. We're having a World Radio party discussion. We have
Cool.
our panel. We have Glenn Burrows, the family history expert and owner of Norfolk Tours, joining us, and Laura Dunning. She's been on our show before. She's a member of the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association. She was on our show giving us the inside scoop of what it's the life of a writer, a publisher, because she publishes smalltownwashington.com. She was with 2 other travel writers, and we found out that she's got some history, English history in her family, and so that's what Glenn does. So I'm like, hey, come on the World Travel Party show, and let's see what happens. Maybe you'll know who your family is. We'll find out, right? He doesn't know anything about her family either. He doesn't know who, what, or where, so we'll just see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I was following her post on Instagram, and she had a photo of a ship that was a replica of the ship that her parents came over,
Wow.
to America
How
from.
cool.
And so it's really interesting because she's in Washington State, which also has a lot of English history. And so that's going to be interesting. But she's also just come back from Ireland and Greece. So just saying, this is going to be a good conversation. We also have Lisa Deutsch, who used to live in Oxford, England. So there you go. She now lives in L.A. She's known as the L.A. Gourmet. She's a culture and cuisine consultant and writer and publisher of Essential Wanderings, and she's traveled from Egypt to Morocco, South America, you name it. So she's done all the exotics. So this is going to be cool. Between, South America, Morocco, England, Ireland, France, Canada, and then you and I doing Africa. It's going to be a great conversation.
We're on the road.
And then after that, we're going to have a segment with Glenn where we get to know what it's like to be a tour guide. We always love to do these insiders, whether it's a locals insider where we ask locals what it's like to live, work, and play in their community, or like Dr. Jackie, we just interviewed her. What's it like to be a doctor? Why did you do this? It's so much work. So Dr. Jackie rocks. But we're asking Glenn, because when we first met him was, I'm going to say, like 5, 6, 7 years ago. He's been on our show now. He's been on our show through all our many changes in our magazines and everything. And his changes, he went from being a Norfolk tour guide, taking people on custom tours around Norfolk, showing them their family history, to covering everything, England, all England, whether it's
even
London,
United
Cornwall,
Kingdom now.
Yeah, he said he'll hop over to Scotland or Wales. So Ireland, why not? So he says, if I can drive there, we're going. So that's it. So that's what he's doing. So it's going to be interesting to talk to him about even how he got into becoming Norfolk Tours. We love Glenn.
I have to say I led 3 tours to Africa or to Kenya, and it takes a special kind of person to be a tour guide.
I think so. I think so. And I don't have the patience for it.
Well, there's really good parts of it, and there's
all I can say is, Glenn,
they deserve to be paid well. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, and he's a bloody good bloke. He's a good chap.
Is he?
Yes, he is. He is. And we always talk about Mr. Whippy's little ice cream with a little chocolate flake in it. Like, if you haven't had one, don't even laugh about the name. Just go have one. You have to go to England for one. But anyway, I think since we're doing so much on England that we might have to re-air the British Hollywood history segment from Steve Schneikert, because it's cool. Because he talks about Judi Dench and
the Dame,
and Alfred Hitchcock.
Was he British?
But he did those movies, like with Tippi Hedren, Nancy.
Where she got her head pecked in?
Yes, the birds. No, he is British. He is.
Those were well-trained birds.
His name is Hitchcock. All right. Anyway, join us. Keep up with us on January 21st. We'll be back with more shenanigans, our World Radio Party. You never know what could happen. And keep up with us. Just go to BigBlendMagazines.com. That'll take you to both our websites, both our magazines, and our radio shows and social media and all that good stuff. But we got to close with some music, and we need a woman singing. Now, it's time for the ladies to stand up here and
stand up for the blues.
Shelley King is one of our favorites. We've got a lot of women that we represent on the show here, and we love to presenting and representing. Well, we love them. And Shelley King, she's just one of our favorites. She's been on the front cover before of our magazine quite a few years ago, but she comes on our show periodically. And today she is in New York. She's at Woodstock. She does this every year, and she's playing with Carolyn Wonderland tonight. These two make quite appearance. Some other ladies. Last time she was on her show was in December, talking about her new album, Fan Faves. She's getting ready to do one in spring. And right now, you go check her out in our go to BlendRadioandTV.com, type in Fan Faves or Shelley King. You'll see her in our January-February issue of the magazine talking about her new album. We talk about this female power in the blues, right? And she's so cool. But tonight she is doing one of her favorite things. She's done so much with Levon Helm and has so many musical inspirations from being in Woodstock. And tonight she is there. She is actually over at she's going to be performing at the Levon Helm Studios in Woodstock tonight. So that's where she'll be. And
cool.
So check it out if you're in that area. Before we do anything, Steve Schneider has a message for you, Nancy.
Uh-oh.
It's Tippi Hedren's birthday today.
Let's hear it for the Crows. I think they did the biggest amount of damage.
Some people love Tippi Hedren, and Nancy has some history, and that's all I can say. If you want to know, you got to call her.
I won. All I have to say, I won.
Anyway.
All I know is every once in a while I like to watch the birds and go, "Go birds, go!"
No, wow. But anyway, it's a long story.
Yeah,
it's a long story. We've covered it a few times on the show, but it's interesting. Anyway, so we're gonna play "Walk On." I didn't plan it this way.
It's a good choice.
But it is on the latest album by Shelley King, fan faves, and all these albums she's done through the years, and people just like, we can't get these albums anymore. So she's like, okay, I'll put a fan faves together. She's working on a spring album, but here it is, fan faves. It's Walk On, and you can go to ShelleyKing.com. That's Shelley with an EY, because she's a special lady like that, and you listen to her voice. She rocks. And, she's a lady of Austin, and she's the first Texas state musician, female. And I like the female.
Go, Shelley.
She's a female musician. Anyway, so
she's female, and she got music.
Can you tell it's Friday?
Yeah.
All right, everybody, here
it's
it is.
It's about to be Friday Music Day.
Well, yes, Family Friday Music Night. Join us on Facebook and Twitter. # Family Friday Music Night. Okay, here it is. Walk on. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on Sunday. Thanks for joining us. Thank you to our amazing guests, and really, happy Friday, happy Popcorn Day. Don't forget to pop the corn, and that's the only thing you should be popping.
The bird's the word.
Okay, here it is. Walk On.
Mama's on the sand, hoping everything goes as planned. Highway rolls as far as I can see, and miles to go before I sleep. Walk on, go ahead and leave. I hate to see you go, but honey, I believe where a rainbow ends, there's a fire to go.